In these sessions, we are going to prepare individual income tax return using the training platform. This is the website that you should be logging in from for training purposes. So whether you're a student or a teacher, this is the site that you should be logging in from. You can find it from the GovReports website, main website, right at the bottom by clicking in the link training, or you can simply just go straight into here, govreports.com.au/training, and log in and click login, and you'll be able to log into your account. Or in terms of URL, this is the actual URL that you need to remember when you are wanting to get access or directly logging into the GovReports training platform. Okay, so this is the dashboard that when you log into GovReports, if you are a teacher, you would see the authorized users here. But if you are a student, then the authorized users tab or menu would not be on your account. So as a student, if you need to set up your account, or your account is already set up by your teacher, to get started on the individual income tax return, you need to add a client. So go to My Client, click on Add New. Now here you got non-individual or individual. Non-individual means that it's a business, it's a trust, it's a partnership, it's a basically it's not an individual. So to add a client, you need to put in select individual. If this person has a business venture, you need to also put in the ABN number. Otherwise, just put in the tax file number. Tax file number, because GovReports has inbuilt ABN lookup and TFN validations. What that means is that it will check whether the validity of the tax file number or the ABN. Now, because this is a training purposes, of course the ABN is not going to be real and the tax file number is not going to be real. So you need to ensure that you have a testing tax file number to put in here. Just check with your teacher if you can get access to a testing tax file number that you can use to create a client. Once you've done that, just put in the name, the contact details, the date of birth, etc. Save it. Once you save it, your client's details will be on the list. Once it's on the list, you can just simply click on the client's name, and it would take you to the client's profile. From here you can see the work in progress, which is the WIP, what we call the WIP, the overview, what you have in terms of details for the clients, anything that you prepare or prepare and save as a draft, or it will be on the Save and Draft tab, or anything that you've lodged for the clients will be listed here also. Now, because this is the main account access, so I would have access permissions but otherwise if you are a student, this will not be available there. Otherwise, now because we haven't completed the details for the clients, we need to enter as much detail so that it will pre-fill onto the tax returns. So you need to go in and edit the client. Okay, just make sure that you have all your client's details that will pre-fill onto the tax returns, including the address, telephone number, of course date of birth, and email address, because GovReports has inbuilt digital signature. So if it gets sent to the clients for signature once the tax agent has prepared or you have prepared the tax returns, the client can sign that as well. So all these details, once you put it in, it will be used later on to pre-fill for any subsequent reports that you prepare for the clients. So what I'm going to do now is to put in some details so that I can get the pre-fill for the tax return. Date of birth. Okay, once you added once you created the client and add all the details that you needed for the tax return, you can go straight to forms, select the individual income tax return, and it will populate the tax return form for you to prepare for the clients. Now, because GovReport has enabled for tax return to be prepared from 2012 onwards, so depending on the financial year that you need to prepare for the tax return for the clients, then you can start from there. Now, notice that you've got here. Okay, so here you can see that we have two options: start and preview and start. If you are preparing the tax return for the client for the first time, then you can go straight into preview and start. That means it's automatically preview and start the tax return form for you to enter without having to do anything. But if you have previously done the tax return for the clients and want to do the rollover from the previous year details to here and then automatically and then preview afterward, then the options to start. So we're gonna do because this is a training program, so you are most likely that your teachers will provide you with some of the pre-filling details so that you can manually enter into the system. So I would say to start, and then here, like I said, once you get into the form, you can just check the details, make sure that you enter correctly all the informations, and notice that earlier we put in the address. It's now preview onto the form, and that if you need to change anything, you need to go back to the client's profile, go to overview and change the details. Okay, so and again, you notice there's options on the side. So if the client has Medicare or private health insurance, you need to also click on that and enter the details of the client's Medicare details and or health insurance during the financial year. If they also have spouse and you would like to add them on to the tax returns, you can link. If the spouse is on your client list, then you can link the spouse. But if otherwise you don't have the clients, they don't have the spouse, that you don't need to go into these sections. Again, similarly, if they've got adjustments or income tests, etc., you need to whatever is applicable to them, you need to just click onto that link and be able to fill out the sections as you go along. Once you have completed these sections, you can just click on the next tab on income, and then again just make sure that you put all the income of the employees during the financial year. So adding the employer's ABN. And in most cases, if you put in the employer's ABN, it also will be, as I said, GovReport has inbuilt ABN lookup. So as soon as you put in the ABN, some of the information here will be pre-filled, and then you need to put in the tax withheld, the gross payment details that you have on the client, on the employees, or the client's PAYG payment summaries, and just make sure that you put all the details. Again, if there are more than one, if during the financial year the client has more than one job, you can click here to add more PAYG payment details for the employees. Similarly, you can click in terms of allowance, earnings, tips, and director's fee. If there is income that is applicable to this client, then you can just put in the details and put in the amount on there. Now, once you fill that out, all the relevant informations, save it. Now, some of the income that needs to also put onto the schedules. For example, rental income or business income or section supplementary sections. Again, just click on that so that you can put in, if for example this client has a rental property and during the financial year the amount of income, just make sure that you put in the details, save it, and once you save the details, enter the details and save it, it will populate onto the main form. And the same thing for business income and supplementary sections. Along the way, of course, if you fill up the details, the tax estimate or the estimated tax refund or payable will be displayed on there, and you can, of course, at every step of the way, you can check for errors. It will come up with errors to be checked, so you can check it along the way, or you can just basically complete the whole tax returns and then check it at the end of it. So for now, let's go to the next sections. Deductions. Again, the same thing. Now, you notice that there's not many schedules here. It's because I haven't saved the form. If I have saved the form, you would have a lot more schedules coming out in worksheets that are big, that populate for you to utilize for the tax returns. Okay, so now we're going to try to save it so that once we correct all the details. Okay, let's jump on to the next section, the income. We're going to come back. Now, as I said, once you save it, the schedules will come out. All the schedules and worksheets. So depending on the tax returns of the information that you put on, now it's whatever is applicable to the clients. You can just select the schedules that's applicable to these clients and go straight to there. So for example, we're going to choose a rental property schedule. Say address 1 is let's make it and date of the first earned rental income. Oops. Okay, and if the rental property is owned by more than one person, you can put in a different percentage and put in the name of the details. So assuming that this person's owned more than 50% along with his wife, but we didn't put his wife in details. But if you put in 50%, then you can have the second person at the second row. It could be someone else. Like I said, if you can link, if the spouse is also a client of yours, so you can link the spouse to these tax returns as well and prepare the client's tax return. But in this case, let's make him 100% ownership. Okay, and the gross rental income, so assuming that he's making 25,000. Year expenses. Okay, it's only him, so total amount was maybe 2,000. another row, and you can add water charges again, 1,200, and all the expenses that you have for this rental property. Maybe okay, assuming that we're happy with all the expenses, these are all the expenses relating to the property, you can save it. Once you save it, the details of this rental property will then populate onto the main form. If you have more than one rental properties, you can add more. Okay, as I said, errors will be checked throughout the form, but if you want to check through each step of the step that you completed, you can check the errors, but you can also check the errors right at the end. At this stage, if there is you need to transfer some of these properties, then details you can also add as well. Note here under actions, you can, if this is a real life client, you can also do the ATO preview form straight from here. But like I said, because this is for training purposes, you might get some of the details from your teachers for you to manually enter the details. But otherwise, if it's a real life, you can preview directly from the ATO or upload. If you go to the ATO portal, in most of the cases where ELS software, where you can go into the ATO portal, download the preview information for that particular client, and upload onto GovReports for for the tax returns. Okay, of course we don't have any of these details, so we won't use these options. Now I'm gonna have to put in some income for this client. Let's make him a nurse. Or a custom agent. An ABN. As I said, you also need the clients. You also need a testing ABN to put in to put in here, so that it will populate for the tax return properly, as our system will validate the ABN as well. Okay, we're going to put in a client's ABN. Okay, let's make tax withheld. And he has no other payments. As I said, you can fill out. Once you save the details, it will again populate, and all the estimated errors, tax payable or tax refunds, will be available for him to. You will be able to see. Again, if whatever the applicable schedules or worksheets that is to this client, you can just click on that and be able to fill out the details. If you need to add more properties details, which I think the ones that we saved earlier is already there, tax withheld, dividends, employees. Okay, if this client happens to have another property, you can also go back to the property rental property schedule and just add more rental properties straight onto these clients. But otherwise, you can check the rental income on the main form. This is the details that we added earlier, and it's here. So if you need to make adjustments, whatever, you can go back to the rental property schedule and click on edit, and you'll be able to go back in to the schedule that you added earlier and change the details. Or if it's not the correct information, you can delete it also. Similarly, because we're not going to change anything much here, like I've said, just check all the relevant schedules for your clients, and and you can go straight into that schedule related schedule and or worksheets and add the details. We're going to go straight to deductions now, and the same concept. If any deductions applicable to the clients, just go straight into the rental property schedule and edit and change, put in the details related to the deductions that you might have missed. Again, similarly, with other deductions that you can add for these clients, whether it's uniform or work-related travel expenses, anything relevant, you can add straight onto the form. If you need more rows, just click on add, and it'll give you more rows for you to add more items onto the tax returns. Once you've add all the details, of course the calculations will come up. All the calculations will populate, and you just click save, and it will recalculate, and you can check the errors along the way. At this stage, I don't think there's any errors because we haven't put much details in there. Medicare levy, because I did not put in the details, so there you go. But like I've said, if your teachers will be able to provide you with all the details relating to the tax returns, and you just need to complete it, go through it, make sure that it's entered into the correct sections. Of course, if there is error, as we saw earlier, I click on the errors and I click on to go to, and it will take me straight into where I need to fill out the form where the error was found, and it will take you straight back there, and you can fill in the details of the Medicare or the private insurance details of the clients, which is the section that was missing. We did not complete it because, as I said, this is a testing account and I haven't got the details to fill in. But in your case, to prepare it, you would have some of these details from your teachers. Once you've done that, go straight to decorations. You can review the informations, just check your details. And then, of course, is this an amendment? No, it's not an amendment. It's straight first-time lodgement, and then you can go straight to save and lodge. Save as a draft means that it won't validate with the tax office, but if you save and validate, it will save the form, it will save the work that you have prepared, and validate with the tax office to make sure that the data that you have entered is matching with the details or some of the data that ATO has obtained for this particular employee. We also have the fourth option, save, validate, and send for signature, because we have inbuilt digital signature, so it will save the work that you have prepared, validate it with the tax office, and also then send the report for signature. I don't believe that you will be using the send for signature features in this exercise. You need not to, but you can always play with it. Pre-lodge here means that now if you have prepared the work and you haven't saved it, do not click pre-lodge. Pre-lodge simply means that it is testing with the ATO, but it will not save your data, the details of the tax return that you have entered. So make sure if you're going to use pre-lodge, save as a draft first, and then come back to this tax return, pre-lodge, and it will validate with the tax office to make sure that all the data that you have entered is matching with the ATO records. And if there's errors, it will take you straight to where the errors are, and then you can go through the tax returns again, make sure that the errors are corrected. before and save it so that before you can lodge to the tax office. If this is a straightforward lodge to ready for lodgement, then you can click lodge. So there you have it. We've done the tax returns. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. But if you've got any questions, check with your teacher or come back to us and let us know. Thank you.